let's go. And then I fucking close the laptop with all the information that I need. And I'm like, I need to use the phone to look it up, but this is the phone. I'm recording with my phone. Well, we'll see how it goes. So I got a new piece of info today about my narcissistic ex-friend and how the fuck did I get entangled in that. And I decided it's time to talk about it. So one of the things that has been invaluable in this journey was my realization that came like a couple months later after I broke contact with my narcissistic ex-friend, and the realization was that, shit, I have seen this before. I have seen like a person exactly like that. I have told my narcissistic ex-friend about that person. And for the next few days after that realization, I was like, the memories would just like come at me. And I'm like, are you even different? Like, you're... My cat is being overly active. So I was like, are you even two different people? Oh, crap. Yeah, that was the cat. The cat missile. Like, are you different people or are you the same? Because you're fucking the same. And, yeah, now I have kind of like two data points, even though that one, the one I remembered about, is very old. It's like, I was 22, I guess. It's like more than 15 years ago now. How do I go about it? So I would presume that the first individual was also on the narcissism spectrum, like just highly narcissistic or even like NPD. I cannot make this judgment, not because I'm I don't know anything. I'm not a professional. Being not a professional, I still can fucking claim that my narcissistic ex-friend has a personality disorder, and I don't mind saying that. But that other individual, I just don't have enough data, and it's been 15 years, so the data I have is also severely compromised by the memory decay. So that one is just not so. It's not so well studied by me, and I cannot, and I cannot cross my, like, without crossing my conscience, I cannot say that, oh yeah, that's that. But they looked fucking identical in behavior. So the first individual was a girl I met on an online forum. That was long ago. So there was a local forum for my town, and I had seen her there, posting her there, commenting. I've seen her commenting there beforehand, before she contacted me. And she'd been like stirring shit up. The only thing I remember now, it was at the time, cats, the Virtu phones. I feel like I'm gonna like talk about, I don't know, what am I gonna talk about? The Roman Empire, yeah. It's long ago. So yeah, the Virtu phones were like I guess, a thing. I mean, it was like an expensive phone, very expensive phone from what I remember. It was like the iPhone, I guess, of the before iPhone era, or maybe early iPhone era. I don't know. But anyway, she was like, she had the nickname like Virtu, and she had like she pretended to be like someone really cool, some kind of like woman who is like so rich and famous and powerful and everything, and she was just like steering not steering stirring up like drama in the comments of any discussion and just like shitting on everyone with that. And the Virtu phone was like very prominent in her in her comments, and was all about like, well, if you don't have like, if you have something less than that, or if you want, even worse, if you want something less than that, then you're losers and you suck balls essentially. And yeah, I should add this to a list. Like, I don't understand human behavior, and I don't. There are two modalities. So I didn't like it. I didn't like that, the way she acted. But then I didn't really like anyone else either. As in, there were no like people who were like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Nothing made sense. So it's just like observing individuals interacting, and none of them make sense, and a lot of them cause like unpleasant emotional reactions within me. But I cannot, at least at that point, I couldn't like use my emotional reactions as guidance for like, ooh, I don't agree with that, or like it's bad or something. And I don't think I can. Like, to this day, I don't think, I'm not sure if I can actually, even though I probably should. But yeah, I had this like emotional reaction to her conduct there. But yeah, then my like analytical part of my brain would overtake everything. It was like, oh, well, why might that be? Yeah, and that's why I was on that forum. I was just like looking at how people are talking and trying to converse with them, and just trying to get what is like what this is all about. Like, what, why, how? uh so she contacted me. I sadly or luckily, I don't remember how and why, but yeah, my kind of initial emotional impression of like Virtu phones, like, I didn't even have a phone at the time. I didn't want to have a phone. I still don't fucking want to have a phone, but it's fucking here, and I'm not, yeah, I'm not escaping that anymore. But yeah, at that point, I didn't have a mobile phone, even though it was like, God, what year was it? Like 2009, 2008. So phones were already, like widely available. Everyone else had a phone, and they had it for like 5 years or something. Uh, so I didn't agree with her points. Excuse me. Jesus fucking. You are heavy. You know, removing missile. Stop, please. Come on. And I think I didn't register that I was in the group of like people she was shitting on, just by virtue of like anyone who doesn't is. Well, I'm in that anyone group, but I saw it as a like, well, we will talk about it. But She has an opinion, I have an opinion. It's all about some kind of weird, not even philosophical. I mean, it is a part of philosophy, but like epistemology, whatever. Like this kind of like, how do we form knowledge, and where does knowledge come from? I'm hoping I'm citing the the correct department of philosophy, but yeah, it's some kind of like analysis of consciousness and psyche and knowledge and yeah, like people's brain. I didn't think it was. Oh, I'm going deep with this. I didn't perceive it as like personal interaction. I didn't think that it would be applied to any personal interaction. It was just, oh, okay. It's a discussion essentially. That was a mistake. But yes, she contacted me and we went for a walk. And after that, I think we associated for about a year, like year and a half. And we would talk a lot. We would talk online, but mostly on the phone, on the landline. Uh, I had never fucking used the landline before that, apart from, like normal calls, like, I don't know, hospital, whatever. Like, I don't even know. Well, like, yeah, calling the school when I was still in school. But yeah, with her, we like spend hours on the phone talking about something, and sometimes going for a walk, and also like me going to her place and bringing her shit. Shit is very prominent in these two relationships. Those cunts getting shit from me. So yeah, that would be kind of the structure of our relationship, like long, very, very extremely long conversations on the phone, like hours, like 5, 6, 7 hours. Like, so yeah, I would come back home from work and I would just like, yeah, spend time talking to her. And then yeah, like visiting her, sometimes going for a walk, a few times going, like meeting up somewhere. And yeah, she was a very unpleasant person. They are insane. I thought this is gonna be a much longer video than I expected. I should have known better. Um, the first similarity I can see is that just like kind of superficial or structural maybe similarity is that there would be like moments of um, what's the word I'm looking for? Like bonding done on purpose, like her kind of telling me that yeah, you're doing like you're doing the right thing, you're thinking the right thing, you're saying the right thing, because you're not saying what the other fucks are saying, so we're together, like something like this. And some kind of yeah involvement in the things I was doing, but not many, quite like only a few of them. And there was a lot of shit and like pushing me away and just mocking me and like arguing essentially. And the conversations were about like, yeah, let's make sense of this like whole world together. That would be one hook, I guess. Oh, I stopped talking to her very abruptly. And I, once I remembered her, I felt really sorry that I didn't do that and like it didn't happen with my narcissistic ex-friend, with my third number one, because that would have saved me so much trouble. But I'm not sure I'm capable of that, of what I did with this girl from the forum. I don't remember the exactly what happened, but it was some kind of this. demeaning, dismissive comment that she made while I was getting dressed to leave her place. And yeah, so I walked out and it was okay. Like I said bye bye. And in the moment of that demeaning comment, uh, I didn't, I reacted in a way that it's not as if like she couldn't mean it. So she said something shitty. I'm like, yeah, ha ha ha, you don't actually mean it. So, like, now give me the normal answer, which is, yeah, what I would be doing. But then once I left and I was walking back home and it's like 10-minute walk, I'm like, I don't need this. Do I need this? And I was like, no, I don't need this. So I stopped talking to her. Just like completely, I didn't pick up the phone. I didn't answer the messages. She stalked me for about 6 months after that online. But yeah, then it was that. Um, I talked about her to my narcissistic ex friend because she was a very peculiar individual in my life. First of all, because I did that, I was like, yeah, no, bye. Like, I don't need this. Um, and I talked about that because, yeah, my narcissistic ex friend started his long game about, like, yeah, how everyone abandons me, and yeah, talking about how like relationships or friendships stop. And I was like, yeah, I have done it, and that happened. So like, have this fact, just be aware. Oh god. Um, and also like I wanted to understand like why did I do that? Like what what kind of trait in me is that? This ability to do that, or is it an inclination or something like this? So we discussed this, and also we discussed the interactions with that person, because I was trying. We were discussing a lot of people with my narcissistic ex friend, and I mean I don't understand anything. There are so many points of confusion in my life. I'm so fucking autistic. I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand people. I'm fucking trying to and trying to and trying. I'm still thinking about everything. So yeah, we started like talking and analyzing that girl from the forum, and the the thing that was so difficult for me to understand was like, why were you behaving like that? Why was she behaving like that? Why was she so mean to me for like we're friends, and then she's just like shitting on me all the time, and like shitting on many of my choices, like most of my choices. uh and yeah, like these kind of like nasty like poking things. And it was so funny because my narcissistic ex-friend was, well, she's just like trying to scratch her ego, like through that she's just trying to boost her status. And yeah, well, you're talking about yourself. Everything my narcissistic ex-friend said about other people was actual information about him. This is like one truth that I discovered. So yeah, you're doing that. But she might have been doing exactly the same. um yeah, anyway, after I remembered, and I have no fucking idea how it didn't connect while I was being friends with my narcissistic ex-friend. Not in the beginning, not later, like never. It didn't connect that they displayed like eerily similar types of behavior, and like eerily similar like patterns of our conversations would follow the same kind of patterns, and even like the superficial structure of like I don't spend hours talking on the phone or chatting online, but then suddenly I do. And yeah, like I keep going to someone else's place and like bringing them shit, and the conversations and like the way they made me feel, and the way there was no kind of like there was no resolution to any of the any of the conversations. So, and just the way the things that the people, like my narcissistic ex-friend and the girl from the forum, the things that they said were structurally identical. They could be about different topics, but the kind of the idea behind them, the what is that, so the meaning they were trying to convey was the same. Like, I want to look at my notes. I wrote it down because like in one day or in 2 days I got like bombarded by the memories of like, oh, that's the same thing. For now I just remember the like the so like medical issues that no one else had, and like the suffering that like no one has ever experienced, and like everything, nothing you can prove though, like nothing that is observable. And everything that is like the extremely rare, like all the extremely rare things happened to them, and like and it's like, yeah, like it's happened to me, and yeah, um and now it means something. This is the only one I remember, but there were like about 15 of those that were just, you're the same. Okay, I will pause it and I will look it up and I will start another video. Yeah, okay, I opened my laptop. Yeah, a lot of things. So the first one was like, there is a system of like, yeah, the virtue phones. So people choosing this and like liking this, they're cool. And these ones are assholes and stupid and shits. And you, me, being my friend and being one of the cool people, you shouldn't muddy yourself with that shit that those bad people like. So like, why do you disrespect yourself so much by like wearing the things you're wearing, like listening to the things you're listening? I'm like, fuck off. So that was, yeah, the girl from the forum and my narcissistic ex-friend, they both did it quite a lot, disguised by, yeah, like, not even, it's not even disguised, but like, yeah, like, we're caring about you or something. No, it was just like shitting on you. Yeah, so the exterior, the importance of exterior, and believing that like the fucking appearance was like just a big thing, and like anorexia kind of, they were not anorexic, but I think they wished they were anorexic. Just a lot of focus on the way they looked. A bit different, with like the different aspects, but it was like such a big thing. And also like their anorexic tendencies are not like everybody else's anorexic tendencies. No, it's because they have legitimate reasons for that, for like, yeah, having like eating disorders or whatever. And yeah, just like being very, how would I put it, not self-conscious. There is nothing like that, but the moment, yeah, they saw someone else, like appearance of someone else being mentioned, they would just like start inspecting themselves, and it was just like a big fucking thing. It's something that I personally try to avoid, because I don't like, yeah, it brings nothing but misery to people. Yeah, and like money to a small selection of people. But yeah, in these two friendships, that was like a big topic, because they would just keep talking about it, and I was like, maybe I should also talk about it. Maybe like this is the way. the like everyone else is an idiot. The only I'm a specialist in everything I'm talking about. Um, yeah. Also, that one was funny. Like if I like something or if I like someone, if I have any other contact with someone else, they would kind of like stalk the person or like look at the things, kind of like keep them in mind and find faults in there. And like come back to me and like, ooh, that person that you talk to, they sit in this and that, and aren't they shitty? And why are you associating with them? So that was the girl from the forum. That was a big one there. My narcissistic ex-friend was more about like things, or yeah, like online spaces, ideologies that I would like follow or something like that. He would find faults in there, like nah 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 nah. Yeah, like I don't even know how to explain it. It's not perfectionism, but it's like, well, if you don't want problems, yeah, if you don't want your phone to get broken, you need to get a Bluetooth phone. Otherwise, you're a dumbass. And what did you expect? So, like, why are you choosing shit? You should choose, like, you're just shit yourself if you're choosing shit. You need to choose good ones. Are you stupid? You don't understand what's good? So, yeah, and I would be included in that. So, as like if there is a kind of a problem with anything of mine, it'd be, well, it's because you didn't do it right, like I said so. uh yeah, and also trolling, yeah, which my narcissistic ex-friend just claimed, well, I don't understand, I'm just asking questions. You're fucking 35 years old, you don't understand? But yeah, so the girl from the forum, she would fucking drag me into these discussions she had on multiple fucking forums. She was like spending so much time there just like arguing with people, and she would forward the links to me like, oh, go look at them. I'm dumb, I'm like, ooh, let me analyze this too. Sometimes I even like participate in the discussions. But yeah, the discussions were like, she would come into the forum discussion and say, well, you all eat shit and you're dumb. Why are they so mean to me? Yeah. Why? Like, I'm just asking questions, I'm just talking, don't they understand they're dumb? Yeah, so my narcissistic ex-friend did the same. Just he didn't invite me that much to those discussions, but yeah, I've seen it in the videos talking about narcissism that is called triangulation. And first I didn't understand what? Like, but then I got it and I'm like, oh, so that's why for some reason I've been talked to about people I don't fucking know. The girl from the forum would like talk a lot about her aunt, like just relay the conversations with her aunt to me and just like tell her about our conversations, and the aunt would shit on me and she would relay that to me. And there was some other girl who was sexually abused by her stepfather, she would relay that information to me, and I'm like, why are you telling me this? But then I was like, oh, well, maybe this is how people talk, maybe I should try that, maybe this is the way, maybe why not? It's just what's so bad about it, like it's a discussion. But yeah, in both friendships I ended up like talking about people I have never met. I don't want to know, like I don't care about them, I don't want to be friends with them, but like, yeah, there are conversations and there are like conflicts between them, like she said that, he said that, that would be like just dumped on me. Another funny thing was the TV series. um so the girl from the forum, she was obsessed with Sex in the City with Carrie, and it was like the Bible. The 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 TV series was the Bible. Like, this is the final boss of TV series. If you're not watching it, you're dumb and shit, of course. And like, it's
it's showing something, and like this character is like the best person, like this is the top bitch. Yeah, and my narcissistic ex-friend being of a different disposition. His thing was queer as folk, as folk, as folk, queer as folk, and the what was his name? The Brian something, Brian character that. And just like again the TV series, like yeah, this is what like that everything the world should like yeah that, like be like that. And it's like the same genre. It's the same fucking genre, the same kind of structure, like the group of friends. Just yeah, like that's for like hetero people, and that's for like not so hetero people, and even like the couples there, they would have these like kind of similar dynamics of like yeah main character syndrome. Huh. Yeah, so these are the few things that I wrote down on the first day when I got the memories back, but there were so many more. And I was like, you're the same people. You're the same fucking people. And it really helped me because, um, like the TV series would be the best example. Yeah, they're the same genre. They're like they have a very similar structure, but thematically they're very different. They have different values. They have different everything. Uh, but the arguments and the conversation structures and the way uh, these two people would try to drag me into that shit and like influence me was exactly the same. And I remember quite a few conversations. Yeah, so like that stupid cunt would be talking about what was it? A ruler. She would be talking about a ruler, and that my third number one would be talking about a pen. No, a pen is too similar. Would be talking about a cloud in the sky. So like completely different things, but the kind of the spiral that it follows of like well, basically it's yeah you're shit. It's the spiral needs to arrive at a place where I'm shit and like the tick boxes of like you are you're betraying me, you're abandoning me, you're disgusting, you're hurting me, I'm a victim, like you're dumb. I cannot actually recreate it now, but it's like these points would be like so the same fucking pattern, even like not even just the same points, like the same road between the points of like where so they say something from this position of like oh you're betraying me or like yeah you're a loser. That would be like let's say that's the starting point. Then the next point would be the same like metaphysically would be the same kind of vibe. So that would be like you're like you're just like them, and then from just like them, you're like you're psychopath. You don't care, and then oh you're like you're so shitty, and you're hurting me and like abusing me and whatever. So the path would be the fucking same, and I'm like ooh wait, it's not about the topic itself. It's not that this topic is for some reason like so fucking morally complicated that all of these considerations are brought into it. It's the way of being and speaking. It's the person. It's not the topic. The rulers and the clouds in the sky are just objects. So that really helped me. So my narcissistic ex-friend, and this is how I got my little insight today. We met also online. I wrote a long ass fucking text and posted it on a text posting website. And I translated it into my native language and I posted it on my native language text posting website. And yeah, my narcissistic ex-friend read it. And a few days later, after probably having stalked me and like my online presence, not probably, definitely, it's just like, now I understand it's fucking stalking and like collecting info. And
probably going insane. They're like, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, he contacted me. Like, he left me a comment. Like, oh, it's so good at, like, it's because of this, and I never leave comments. Well, why? Are you dumb? Why do you never do something that is completely okay to do, and it's useful sometimes to do that? But yeah, no, I never leave comments, but now I cannot stop myself from doing that because it's like so, and I need you. I didn't understand. So I was like, oh, cool, let's be friends. So yeah, we started talking, and we kept talking, and we kept talking, and we kept talking, and getting more and more entangled because I know how to buy tickets, and I can move my body through the country and even across countries. And I even sadly can move bodies of other people across countries, which is sad, but yeah. So our lives became more entangled until I understood that yeah, that's not a friend, and has never been a fucking friend. It's this person has spent the last 4.5 years just like being horrible to me personally. Like, I was the main target of that behavior. I was probably not the only, but almost the only target. So what I've been trying to think, like, how it happened, because yeah, one more thing here. So before my narcissistic ex-friend messaged me, I actually saw his profile because we were kind of like in the same fandom space. So I was like scrolling, seeing like who else is posting what. And I saw a text, I read it, it was like more or less decent, like interesting. Like, oh, okay, not really my thing, but okay. I think I even like liked it because it was like nicely written. And I checked the profile of the author, which as I usually do, because like, oh, maybe they wrote something else. And yeah, that was my narcissistic ex-friend. And there were two things that like immediately stood out to me and like really put me off. Again, like first emotional reaction. The first one was like, he said that like, I am an old boring freak, and then in the brackets he put in like the year of birth that he claims he was born at. I fucking hate it. I now that I understand, he might have lied. I understand he might have lied about everything. But yeah, so that was like, what? And then there was a poem, which was like, oh, Lord Byron, is that you? Don't come near me, I will hurt you. Essentially, the kind of the message of the poem, but with a lot of like Lord Byron kind of thing, with this pose of like, you know, of all the songs by all the like metal dudes of like, oh, I have ice in my heart and things like that. And I really have a very low opinion of that. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go. So yeah, I looked at that profile. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But yeah, then the person contacted me and I was like, yeah, let's be friends. And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's be friends. Let's try. Maybe. I'm like, yeah, that's who said that I was right. Oh, yeah, which is funny. Why did I bring it up? Yeah, so like in both cases, there was something off-putting from the beginning. And there were like many more things later that were really off-putting to me that I normally just like, yeah, no, bye. Like, I literally quit, or like don't even start talking to people who behave like that, or like make these points. But in these cases, I didn't. So I'm like, why didn't I? So I came up with another list of things why I didn't. And the first one, like the honorable mention, goes to them not being cis hetero men. Because this Lord Byron thing of like, so cool, when it is a like cis hetero man doing that, a man doing that, I'm like, oh, okay. So that one is just, it's like, my dick leaves the scene entirely. It's just like, ugh. The very, I don't know, what's his name? The vampire show about a girl and a vampire at school. I haven't seen it, but I presume that the vampire acts like that. Like, such a like a complete Lord Byron, fucking like mysterious and complex. Yeah, like that is such a such a turn off in all senses, like in all kind of meanings attached to this word to me, that I'm like, yeah, no. But neither the girl from the forum nor my narcissistic ex-friend were cis hetero men. So I was like, maybe I misjudged it. Let me look what it can be made of. It's made of the same old shit, yeah. So I'm like, okay, now I know. But yeah, it should get an honorable mention. I am capable of buying it if it's not coming from cis hetero dudes. So the other point that was similar between these two people that I got today was shared context. The shared context with my narcissistic ex-friend was very obvious. It was about the text. He commented on my text. We were like in the same fandom space, so he also wrote about the topic, or like at least he knew something about the topic. So there was like, this is why this person is contacting me, and this is what we're talking about. So one thing, whatever we're talking about now, is connected to some previous thing. It makes sense. And I sadly very vaguely remember, but I remember that, yeah, she contacted me and we exchanged the girl from the forum, we exchanged some DMs on the forum. I was about something that was like in the shared space of the forum that I posted, I said, and like she said. So there was like, this is why. And fuck. Like, this is how my brain works. It fucking connects things. It's always following some kind of path there. Or mostly actually some very convoluted path, like multiple paths at one, or like a fucking network of things. But if it's without a shared context, then some of the things they did, and I now mostly gonna talk about my narcissistic ex-friend, would be they would push me away. I talked to another person about a year ago for 1 or 2 days, and then I told them to fuck off. And I don't know anything about that person, but like the interaction and the things they said, again, according to the experts on narcissism, these are like kind of the tactics of like getting closer to a person that people can employ if they're like predatorial in their interactions. So I talked to an individual that I met through like a dating app or something, and that person shared with me like within a few days that like there was he used to live with a girl who was like his love of his life, and also they just lived together, and his best friend, and she killed herself, and because she just couldn't take it, because the world, she's like too good for this world, and he cared so much. That was one thing. And another one was a long document. I want to be kind of careful about it. A long document describing kind of very explicitly an episode of sexual assault carried out by his classmates on him. And when I asked, because it was like, I don't know, like a Google Doc, I was like, oh, like, did you post it somewhere? Like, and I meant like maybe it's like, I don't know, like journalism. There are journalistic accounts of like survivors of sexual assault and like all sorts of like liberal projects. Maybe it's that, or maybe it's like, I don't know, survivors forum or something. He was like, no, I'm just showing it to you. So that is weird. And that is weird not because of the topics, but because of like, for me personally, I like, there was no reaction to that. It was just like, some person I don't know, it's not even a person for me at that point. Like, there is no kind of like, there is no person built in my head to match with this actual person to whom I can like apply now these pieces of knowledge, because there is no kind of like basis. I don't have a grasp of this person, so now I just know like it's like a list of random facts about some John next door. So there is a guy who has this name and lives in like this town, who has been sexually assaulted, probably probably not, and yeah, who's like love of his life committed suicide or something. I was like, so I didn't react to that in any way, because there was no reaction, because there was no shared context. It was just like out of the blue, essentially. So my narcissistic ex-friend, and I can fucking bet that the girl from the forum did something like that. We had this fucking bulimia conversation that oh yeah, I think that another point of similarity is like they both would bring some kind of phenomenon up and talk about it as if I have to know, as if I have to care, as if it's like the most important thing in the world. You know, like bulimia, and yeah, my narcissistic ex-friend also had something. I'm like, do you understand that like it does not apply to everyone, and like I don't have any information about it. Can you like, if you want me to care, provide the information? But yeah, it was, yeah, I think it was the first conversation when we had a walk, when we went for a walk, that she talked about her struggles with bulimia, and like took a shit on like well, people say that you cannot cure it, but look at me, without like, you cannot cure it without like medical intervention, but like, look at me, or something. And I'm like, what am I like, what am I supposed to care about here? Like, I don't know. I didn't know that people say that. Do they? I I didn't even know like it was. I mean, I knew kind of vaguely there was a thing, but I don't have like, again, I don't have a grasp. So it's like shoving this whole drama, this whole like antagonistic situation at me as if I'm a part of it. Like, I'm not. I'm not. Like, I didn't get it. Why am I talking about it? Yeah, so, oh no, I lost it. So yeah, so my narcissistic ex-friend, certainly did these things, as in like dumping like sensitive, intimate information onto me about himself very kind of early on, but I didn't have this reaction that I had with the like dating app guy, which was like, okay, it's like a dick pic. It's essentially like a dick pic. So like out of the blue, they show you dick. Okay, now I know that there is a guy named John living in this city that has a member. And now I know that there is a guy who says that this happened. I'm like, yeah, that's not a cool thing, but it's not connecting. It's not connecting like the same way as that I'm not like aroused by the dick of like belonging to I don't know whom. The same way it's not connected to the person because there is no person yet. But yeah, with my narcissistic ex-friend, because of the shared context, because it was kind of like drawing the information from my text, it made sense. I'm like, yeah, that's why he's telling me that. It's like this and then that and then this and then that. My brain was very happy. My text kind of deals with very heavy topics. So the first conversations were kind of related to the topics mentioned in the text. I'm like, yeah, of course, like that's the point of connection between us. You wrote a comment to my text. So this is what we have between us. That's like a starting point. And that didn't push me away. Like the opposite, because my brain was like, yes, this is how I get connected because of something. There was like a reason, like this and then that and then this and then that, like the sequence of like logically it's not logic, but somehow connected points and events and statements and everything. Let me pause it. So that is one thing. I'm vulnerable to a shared context. My brain just takes it as, oh, this is why, yeah, and it just gets into this sequential existence. So the other things that made me open to an attack by my narcissistic ex-friend were, first of all, the text. I wrote a pretty large text within 4 days. I was like, that was like the hyper focus of all hyper focuses. Just like so much passion and so much inspiration. I was like writing for hours. I couldn't eat. I barely could sleep. And I wrote like 30,000 words within 4 days, simultaneously trying to work also, but mostly not. But yeah, that was, and then I kept going. I kept fucking going. By the time my narcissistic ex-friend wrote to me, I would say maybe 60 more thousand words. So in different, maybe 50, whatever. So quite a few thousand words I wrote, continuing the same story, like different parts of the whole thing. And I was somewhere. There's so much energy, and I really felt that, like, ooh, I fulfilled my purpose in this world by like writing this. This is what I want to say. It was like very personally important and very, just like very happy and very inspired. And very open. I wanted, yeah, just like holes. No barriers, nothing. Not even like a piece of clothes, like naked and holes, full of holes. I'm like, touch it. Like somebody touch it. And also I was kind of like excited about the fandom because it brought me not through like anything really um I wasn't a part of the fandom and I'm not a part of the fandom. But I was still like grateful for like, oh, that's how I came here because of this, because like for 2 weeks I read some shit which didn't like, oh yeah, this is what I needed. It was like, okay, some texts are okay, some are not so much. uh, but yeah, I still felt grateful, and I was like, ooh, I really wanted to like connect with people, and I felt so like powerful and so not powerful, like I was full of life and like strength and just blood and meat and everything, like, and I wanted like other people like that. I wanted people to touch me, and I wanted to touch other people. Like I wanted to like slam into them. That was my emotional kind of state. So um that's what made me vulnerable to that assault on me, because, well, this is what I wanted, and this is just generally what I find really nice, like just people, yeah, contacting each other, because like why not? But that's another point, yeah. And that's one. That's one. The second one, I had it somewhere, but now it's not here. Yeah. Okay. So another one was that, let me not backtrack, like hop off this one onto the next one. It fit the way I feel interactions make sense. So, being fucking autistic, I don't understand the social dance, and I not even understand. Like, I cannot participate in it. I don't know how, and I don't want to know how, and it's very alien to me. So all of these like stages and like games you have to play, and like identifying like you have to play this role, I have to play this role, and you have to have these like identity points. Well, I'm this and you're that, and we will do this because people like this do this and that. And I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it feels like this. It feels like some kind of dance with pre-written roles, pre-ascribed roles, and I'm like, no, I don't know, I don't want to. I like, no, it's just like it's not what makes sense to me. But this direct and just like immediate communication, because like we're all human. For me, it's like that's another human. It has like, they have two eyes, they have two ears, maybe they have one eye, one ear. Cool, they're human. And even if they're not human, they're like an individual, they're a creature, they have like intelligence, there's something I can connect with. And yeah, they're just like coming up like openly and honestly without any rules and roles, and they're just like extending their hand, and I'm, of course, yeah, that's what it should be about. That's what it's like, this is what I'm missing in my life, this is what I want, this is what I would like the world to be. Yeah, so now I fucking know it can be like hijacked. I mean, I'm not renouncing it because I love it. I still fucking love it. This is me. This is a part of me. But yeah, this is another point of how that person got to me, even though there were many of putting things about him. Where was the next one? Oh yeah, the fucking text. So now we can come on to the off-putting things. So because my text was dealing with very heavy topics, and it included like moral considerations, and my hero is an anti-hero on the redemption journey or whatever. There was a lot of like moral complexity. I was thinking, like, I was expressing very deep and like convoluted, again, emotional and ethical concerns I have had my entire life, and I was putting them into these characters, and they were like interacting with each other, not like just, not like, ooh, how many angels can fit on the tip of the needle or whatever. It was like in the interactions I would express this kind of like value system, and then this value system, and like this experience and that, and then they would interact, and like it would lead here. Like, literature is beautiful. So it's not like a tedious philosophical discussion or ethical discussion. It's like on the ground, practical. But yeah, I wrote, I'm gonna blame the main character. The main character is very like morally gray, and also like, at that time seemed very morally gray for me, as in I would put words into this character's mouth, or like make him do certain actions that I think, I'm convinced, reek of shit. But then because I am doing that, and it's like my character, I know that his motivations are different from what I imagine usual motivations for these shitty behaviors would be. So that's like, there are these phenomena in the world, like these statements and these values, and we can come to them via different paths. So let's explore them. That was such a bad idea to do with a person with narcissistic personality disorder. So it was this kind of gray moral complexity of the main character and of the text itself, just of the body of the text itself, because it would deal with these, because this is my brain again. This is my character, this is me. These are my motivations to come up with something I might say that I myself might think, that sounds like I'm a jerk, like I'm a heartless, self-important cunt. But funny, I don't seem to be, actually, but that's so interesting, like how things can be yeah. And yeah, just the text itself was also kind of like the plot line, and the things that would be happening there would be like looking at everything from multiple points of view and from multiple directions. So that got me really, I was a sitting duck essentially for my narcissistic ex-friend, because he pretty quickly started expressing things I find very off-putting and very just like, okay, I'm thinking like the level of offensiveness. What are the slurs? I don't know, like these Jews. He didn't spoke about the Jews, he spoke about another nation, with like using a slur, for example. And normally, again, in my life, that would be that. Like, I still have, but like now I'm fucking compromised. A very like strict opinion about the slur, like the fuck. this, then the implied attitude towards the people of that nation was like, no. But that's just one example. But yeah, he would use that slur, and I'm like, ooh, interesting. So you can say the slur, but you can maybe not be that, a racist cunt. So I would like ask him to explain why he's using that, or like why he's saying that. Oh, and he would explain and explain and explain, and all sorts of other things. They're just like completely offensive and dismissive and self-important and cunty and just callous things. And my character, my morally gray character, who I'm portraying as being this cunt, even though we later learn he's not, or something, or he is, and it's also very complicated. It's like I'm doing philosophical exploration while writing porn. Funny. So like I'm in this kind of ethical place of considering everything, and yeah, now there is this other input, and I just keep considering it, and I never fucking stop, and it never crosses my mind that yeah, like talking about these Jews can come from some other places apart from being like a Jew hater, but it also can and does come from being a Jew hater and just a terrible person and a shit, which is what my narcissistic ex-friend was. But yeah, that's another vulnerability that I had. Where is it? Where is my list? Let me find it. So also it's my own, not even moral, I mean I would say moral, but also like cognitive grayness, which I mentioned back when I was talking about the girl from the forum. I don't understand why people do things. Sometimes I might have an emotional reaction, like oftentimes I will have an emotional reaction, but I don't I don't like many things. So like, if you don't like 90% of things, of like what people say and what people do, and like, yeah, well, that's not much of a, like, not much of a hint or anything for you, just a baseline. But then also I'm not basing my value system on my emotional reactions, and I'm not basing definitely my like cognitive analysis of it on that. Like, yeah, okay, I don't like it, but now let's do like cognitive empathy and like understand the entire world, and like think and construct a whole person in there if possible, but at least something to understand what brought them to this point. And it's everywhere, and it's there even if it's like someone is being dangerous to me, like overtly dangerous, threatening, or even like aggressive towards me. I still can stay in that field of like, interesting, why would they be doing that? What, like, the priorities in my brain are about like figure out why the thing is happening. You need to understand this is the fucking rails are going in that direction, and it can even override like the physical safety, or if it doesn't override it, then like after a few seconds, when like the you know, the immediate physical danger passes, I'm like, ooh, but why did they do that? I don't do that. So I'm this shape, and but they happen to do that. So what allows them? What kind of internal structure allows them to do that? Let me, like, can you please answer my question? um, and yeah, my narcissistic ex-friend had a lot of begging. He did a lot of begging of, like, I have an example here, but it was everywhere. It's like, if someone does something, if they can do something, and I can't, and I don't do that, it doesn't mean that they're better than me, right? It doesn't mean that they're better than me. And yeah, in my gray cognitive world, it's like, yeah, of course it doesn't mean that you're like, there are no, you know, there are no categories there of like better and worse in that fucking space that I occupy all the time. Like, yeah, there are just different abilities and different like life paths and different experiences, and we come to each individual point through like the myriad of choices that we make. And then yeah, he would fucking suck it and drink it, because he's not there, he's not in that field, he's in another field. He's like, well, if they're not better than me, then I'm better than them. I'm better. I'm the best. So yeah, that was another thing. I because of this, because he would always like do this, and I didn't get it. That was like personal. It was like envy and jealousy and trying to get on top of every fucking mountain and like every fucking group of people, and like, and shit at everyone so that you like, preserve being superior to everyone. I thought that that is like another person who is like cognitively and morally gray and complex and just like considering multiple points. Because yeah, there is this narrative, for example, that like, yeah, like if you succeed in this, then you deserve stuff and you're worthy of respect. And but then, and if you don't, some cultures will like, yeah, dunk on you. And I've been thinking about things like that my whole life. I'm like, yeah, no, it doesn't really, that's not very beneficial. It's like, so I would be like analyzing the systems that you can observe. And yeah, he would address them. And I was like, oh, interesting. So someone else has also thought about it like very extensively. No, he didn't. He just thought about his place, which should be the toppest one. So he would drink this. He would just like fucking gobble it up. My my me like, what word am I looking for? Confirming, yeah, me confirming that, yeah, like it doesn't necessarily mean that. Actually, I mean, we ascribe meanings to things, and we're individuals, and we can choose. I mean, we do choose because of our life paths. We choose what we ascribe meaning to. So like, I don't, and like, what do you do? So, and how, if it's compatible, let's talk about. I was having this discussion, and he was hearing that, yeah, I'm so nice, I'm so cool, I'm better than everyone, and you. So for him it was like confirmation that, yeah, he's right. And then somehow I'm not doing that. So I'm pretty much saying that like, we need to move away from right and wrong, and like good and bad, and like losers and winners, and like, and maybe base our like values and how we treat each other on something else. But no, for him it was like, ooh, so you said I'm right, but now you're not doing it. That means you're shit, and I can stomp on you until you do what I said. So yeah, that was another thing. And the last one for now that I want to mention, maybe I will come up with something else. I'm just dumb. I'm so literal and so autistically stupid and just so trusting, as in like face value, that it's wow. I almost know, like I'm almost 100% convinced that this person lied and just came up with stories with like lies about so many things for no reason, just like, like, I don't know why. I'm always convinced, but at the moment, when we were talking, that was just like 100% true information for me, because why would anyone lie? And there, he's saying what he's saying, then that means that it's that. And now I'm sitting there like, these things don't make sense and they're weird. And they're also kind of weirdly similar to the way he writes his texts. There is no or very little connection to like the way the real world actually works. So some of his stories are like exactly like that. I'm like, was he just like fucking lying to me? And like, if yeah, I would be surprised if there were no lies, and I will not be surprised if there were like 40% like outright lies, and just the other 60 are just like misrepresentations and delusions and whatever. But yeah, at the time I was like, yeah, well, the person is saying, so it's just the literalist meaning and the literalist interpretation of everything. And it made everything so bad. One more thing that I want to mention is that, yeah, so a lot of things people talk about in like narcissism abuse, like videos and articles and everything. Uh, so there are tactics that these people tend to use, or like these are urges that they tend to try to fulfill. So one of them would be like dumping sensitive, intimate information very early on, to like to which would elicit the other person also doing that, which in this case worked, because again it was based on something. I'm like, yeah, okay, we're talking about it, let's talk about it. um, and another one was like, oh, you're so special, you're not like the other ones. So this one is a major turn off for me. it just it's so against my all of my values, the idea that some people are special. No, everyone is equal. There are no special people. Everyone is just a human, and that's it. That's it. No one is like, oh, no one deserves more, and like, yeah. So that's just like, whoa, my whole like organism and like my whole body, my whole system is just like turning inside out at this idea. So I don't want this applied to me. And he tried. Oh, did he try? Like, oh, you're not like anyone else in any aspect. And I'm like, no, but like I also have two eyes and two ears, and like, but no, you're doing it different, I do it different, and you're also doing it different, la 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 la. It didn't flatter me. It didn't make me connect to that person, which is again what people say that like creates the bond. For me, it was something I argued against, but because I'm so literal, I was like, well, this person states that they're special, as in they're very rare and like very a lot of unusual circumstances in their life, and like in a lot of everything is unusual and not like anybody else. And I'm like, well, if they're saying that, they must have analyzed the data to like a sufficient enough degree to actually be sure that they can make this claim. They have seen quite a few people and they have conducted research, unbiased research. This is how my brain works. This is what my brain is doing constantly. Like, yeah, well, if the person is saying that, then they drawing this information from somewhere, and to be so sure, they probably drawing it from like many different places, and they're saying that. And like, also, if you happen to fall on the far end of the bell curve, you kind of fucking notice that, yeah, well, I seem to differ from this majority. So it could be just the fact that, yeah, like someone is an outlier. So might be, it's like completely possible that I met a person who is an outlier in many areas of the life. I am an outlier in many areas of life, but look, this one claims that he's just like not like anyone else, and he like cites reasons for that. And also, I don't know him. He knows himself better. He has access to his whole life, and I wasn't there. I didn't see it. So therefore, that person is an expert, and I have to like, okay, so thank you, I'm not special, don't do that, I don't want it, like fuck off with this. But if you're saying you're special, then I guess, okay, yeah, well, it's up to you. Like I cannot disprove it, so I will have to treat it as like as fact, as something supported by the evidence. So bad. And then also that thing would spread onto this one. I realized recently was just like, yeah, he also would tell me that like I'm not like all the other girls. And what was it actually? Shit, I need to find it. Crap, let me pause. Yeah, found it. So yeah, again, something that a lot of people mention is which is like a red flag, which is like, yeah, didn't look like it, I didn't register it, because yeah, they weren't cis hetero men, and they didn't like, oh, my ex was crazy. Yeah, bye. So my narcissistic ex-friend would talk about his like previous friendships and relationships with a lot of people. He probably drove fucking insane. And he would say that, oh, like they all were similar, they're the same. And it wasn't like explicitly saying that they were like, oh, my exes were crazy, but I was like, oh, it was all so complex, we had such difficult relationships, and they were so traumatized and everything, and oh, we couldn't be together, and like this sort of bullshit. And then he would say, but you are not like that. And I'm like, I didn't perceive it as like a compliment. It didn't, the idea that I'm special does not create anything in my heart. I'm like, yeah, finally I'm special. No, I'm like, no, fuck off, I'm not special, go away. Like with this special thing, just like leave me with that, like I don't want it. So it didn't reach that target of like, oh, creating this feeling that I'm like unique and valued by this person. I took it literally again, and like I took it as in, well, how would I know? I haven't met these like 10 people that he abused before me. So I have never seen them in my entire life. But all the information I have about them is coming from this person. So when this person is saying that they all had these similar traits, which, okay, happens, yeah, could be. It's like not mathematically impossible that you met like 10 people and they had like 5 traits, all of them shared between them, because first of all, it just can happen mathematically. Just so dumb. I'm so artistically dumb. And also because, well, you are not unbiased when you're choosing people to interact with. So maybe you're drawn to these qualities, or maybe it was like the social circles that you were like circling, which attracted people like that. So, okay, if you're saying so, but then, and now you're saying that I'm not like that. Well, you're probably basing it on something, yeah. So you're basing it on the like unbiased comparison of these traits and like the things you know about me, and then you're telling me that I'm not like that. So I took it as fact, as like not a fact, as like his as his conclusion based on evidence he observed. And I didn't understand that he fucking definitely said it to everyone in his life. And it was not meant like I took it, being autistic. It was meant like, ooh, you're so special. Come with me. And that sort of shit. So I find it really funny that like I don't have the receptacle for these behaviors, but I have something else that still puts me in this weird position of like trusting this person in their judgments and the things they are saying just completely, and like, and it was all over the place. So another thing, yeah, like another tactic people are talking about is like, ooh, like we're two together against the whole world. We're like the power couple. We're again, I have no opinion of that. I have never been a couple with anyone. I'm not for it. I'm kind of against coupling. But if you're saying that you think that what we're having here fits the definition of what you think is like two against the world, I mean, I'm not sure I want to, but like, like, what are we gonna do? Yeah, the storage has run out. Yeah. Anyway, so it's really funny for me that, I mean, painful, but now kind of funny that it's like there is a person who tries to trick you to like give them all your money, and they're doing it by saying that they're like this. What is the like Facebook scams of like, I'm a like American veteran, very handsome, and like catfishing kind of. So, and I don't have any receptacle for catfishing. I'm like, I'm not interested in the American veterans like at all. I'm like so hardcore lesbian that like no. But then I'm like, how do I give the money? But I still give the money because in like one of the pictures of the American veteran, I noticed like a cat with a broken paw, and I'm like, ooh, let's start a shelter for cats. I'm gonna fund it. And they still take my money. So it's kind of like that. Yeah, it didn't, the tactics that were there we're like, oh, you're so special, and we together are so special, and you're not like anyone else, and like, you're the best and everything. And then, like, no, no, I'm not. Like emotionally, it didn't touch me, but then it touched my dumb brain. It's like, 'cause, well, if they're saying it, they should have grounds for saying that. So maybe they compared, and then that's why they're making this statement. So I'm gonna proceed while keeping that in mind, that according to their analysis, this is to be true. So maybe this is a point of view this is a point of view I also have to respect and think maybe like I have to use it to look at the situation. I'm like, yeah, I played right into the to their hand like that as well. So um, these are the things that I have found for now. Um, I don't know what to do with them because they are my inherent traits. um, and they're not even something like not something one can heal or something like this. Just the specifics of how my brain happens to work. So I'm just telling myself that, oh, like, which is a bit strange because I'm not actually thinking about the future. I have a cat, another cat, somewhere, and that's it. Not contacting anyone. Fuck people, um, because I'm fucking devastated after these 4.5 years. I can feel that I'm not okay. So I know that it will take a long time for me to recover. So I'm just taking a long breather. Um, but yeah, the thoughts keep popping up in my mind like, well, how do I avoid it happening again? Well, first of all, just by virtue of not contacting anyone, not coming into contact with anyone, which I am doing. So it's not like a very realistic worry. It's actually about the past, about like, oh shit, how I got myself into this much trouble. I wish I hadn't. It's more about that. It's completely about that. But yeah, the thoughts are there, and I'm like, okay, let me be responsible and like analyze my part in all of this. I'm like, yeah, okay, so my part is that um, I trust people and what that they're saying, and I don't expect them to lie, especially that, like potentially that much. And yeah, I expect them, if they're making claims, I expect them to have evidence. And I don't think myself as an expert in their statements about me being special. Maybe I am special for them. I don't know anything, so I'm just dumb. Like, I'm just autistically dumb. Also smart. That could be a smart thing if I'm like analyzing specimens in the chemistry lab or whatever. But yeah, just the autism, and then yeah, um, my moral complexity and my tendency to think about implications of things and like possible views, like points of view on everything, and just again autism. And yeah, what else was there? Yeah, shared context, like, and direct communication, that communication that seems direct and like straightforward and like fast and just open and honest and just like, yeah, with no barriers. That's just how I am. So now I have this like, well, just beware. Beware something, because these things are not changing. They're just a part of your makeup. These are like the core traits of your personality, and of just your brain, unless you take it out. And no, I love my brain. I'm keeping myself, especially after this beating. I'm so keeping myself. But yeah, I'm just like, yeah, beware. And also, so I guess I happen to be like wary of cis hetero men who act like Lord Byron with my, oh. I'm like, oh, fuck it. So maybe I should be more careful around other kinds of people who present the same way. A vampire from like a teenage vampire movie. What is that movie? Book series. Um, so I should apply it to them, to all like the queer, trans, femme, non-male folks as well. I should, oh, okay, so that's shitty here too. It's not just like toxic masculinity, it's just like toxic self-importance, and just their masculinity, if it's toxic, happens to include that. But it's just the thing that is not good. So maybe I should take care, like, and be more careful with that. Well, anyway, this was the list. Maybe one more little thing, because again, I keep thinking about it. I don't think I will be able to implement it. Like, the off-putting feeling that I got from both my girl from the forum and my narcissistic ex-friend, and just throughout our relationships, I'm always in this field of I'm just I'm a scientist analyzing data. It's so not personal. It's just, oh, well, this individual, me, when I'm saying I'm not me, I'm not like personally invested. I'm just, okay, this is a way to be. And that is another way to be. So another person, let's step out of our personhood, of our like interconnections and our like claims and wants and needs, and just like analyze it like unbiasedly and detached. Just like, let's step out and do that. So that was a mistake, obviously, doing that with a fucking narcissist. But also like, you're a person. I am a person. I am a person. I am a person whose brain and personality is based on being a fucking like analytical ethical machine, of being and perceiving the things like with the outside of my own like concerns and worries and desires and everything. I am that person. This is me. But like, you have those needs and desires and concerns, so they should be incorporated in your actions. It's an overwhelming and like overpowering need to like get it, but fucking finally understand something, because everything is just so confusing and like nothing makes sense in this world. But I'm trying to convince myself, you're like a piece of meat with legs, with ears and eyes, and you are interacting with people. You happen to form like these structures with them, and you're being acted upon, and you don't exist in that, even though you do exist in that field. You like, your brain is completely exists in this field, but you like, there are adverse effects of these interactions on you as a person, and also as that machine, because that machine can go, oh. So I'm really trying to kind of like find a way to not lose like these little emotional reactions that I might get, and also just, well, it's not possible to be in this body, in this meat sack, and cover all possible ethical points, or like not even ethical, just any kind of choices, because I do make my individual choices based on my line of history of like whatever my life experience led me to now. I also don't even believe in free will. I do believe in free will, but I don't believe in free will. And so I know that I cannot be anything else apart from what I am, and I am this weird machine, but I'm not that weird machine. I'm a meat sack, and like a person with like needs and everything, who has a brain and a need of being that machine, but I'm not that machine. So that machine being the very like incorporating all the points, it should fucking remember to incorporate this like personal, very subjective point, and that like there might be like all those points of view, but you will have one. You will make a choice, and it will align with one, and it will align with yours. So don't always maybe like a few times a month, can we have like a day when I don't put it on this like equal field of, oh, could be this, could be that, so there are implications to this and implications to that, like consequences. They're different. Like every choice has a consequence, of course, and we can view this as bad and this is good, and like there are negatives and positives and everything. Good, I'm keeping it. It's me. But a few times a year, at least a year, can I like understand that? Well, I there are things that are like objectively bad for subjective me. These things, despite my being able to look at them from all sorts of directions and everything, they will hurt objectively. They will objectively hurt me as a subjective meat sack with my line of like history and origins and what brought me here. So this is another thing this is the thing that I would love to somehow amend, even though I can fucking clearly see this is again my brain structure, and it's here that this field of like analytics is here, and it's not gonna go away. It's me. I'm really trying to like implement this little screw here that, oh, well, also stop and consider, and like put a little more weight, because you'll have to. Life will force you onto this one meat sack that you're occupying this body, and just like try to understand. Yeah, we the drive to understand is so overwhelming, but just also try to like not hurt, like avoid hurt, avoid injury, psychic, like psychological, physical injury to this meat sack and this thinking bucket and like this meat that inside it, because you will be affected. This machine, you will be affected by it. Everything will be affected because it's you. So I'm not successful for now. I haven't been very successful for now, because I keep finding myself in that space. But yeah, it's a journey.